watched a movie called The Inhabitant, and this is about the lineage of Lizzie Borden. What does that mean? Shit. It is about this young girl, high school age, and her family is dealing with like mental health issues, and they are attributing it to this like family curse where Lizzie Borden was like possessed. That's what made her kill her family. And this possession has been passed down generation to generation to just the women or not. I don't know. That didn't really make all that much sense. A lot of this movie, I don't think they do a very good job of conveying what the curse is and how it's connected and all of that stuff. Yeah. So I'll say this. Okay, this is from the director of a movie we watched earlier this year called You're Killing Me, which we hated. And I didn't know that going into it. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have watched the movie had I known. But when we started this and like 20, 30 minutes in, I was actually really enjoying the aesthetic and the atmosphere. Right? I thought this movie looked good. I thought that there was a dreariness to it and just kind of a feeling of unease, just the way it was shot. And I thought the performances from everybody, for the most part, in most scenes were pretty solid. I thought the main girl was really good. She has some really intense scenes that I think she nails. Leslie Bibb is in this, who I haven't seen her in a little while. She has some moments towards the end that I thought was a little overboard. But you know, whatever. You got Dermot Mulroney or something. How the fuck do you say this guy's last name?
Mulhorny?
Mulhorny. He's bullhorny.
I don't know how to say his name.
He's in fucking everything. Scream 6 and Dermot Mulroney.
Mulroney.
Little Freudians.
Mulroney.
He plays the dad in this. He plays the dad in like every other horror movie.
Dad. Yeah. Insidious, the
third one.
The third one. I feel the same way. I thought that the film had some really cool atmosphere. There's some pretty
we didn't mention that it like completely falls apart.
No.
Because you're like, I agree, and it's like, oh, all I said was that we liked the beginning.
Yeah.
But okay, sorry.
Well, yeah, because like I think, like I said, the atmosphere is good, and like there's some really like creepy, ominous, cool vibe shots, and I like just agree with everything about the acting and everything. I think that the main actress is very good, and then there's other times when there's a couple scenes that are like not so hot, but then the film is convoluted, and yes. I was confused. I was very confused with the mechanics and what's going on with the curse, and I think that you said it too, that it feels like Lizzie Borden was like shoehorned into this. Like I don't really know why it needed to. Like it's fine if they wanted to make a film about Lizzie Borden, but it just kind of it didn't. Trying to say is that it didn't feel like she was the focus, even though she was the focus. You know, it's like she was a key component, but she felt shoehorned in.
100%, she was shoehorned into the film just to sell her name.
Yeah, and that's a shame, because I kept trying to understand like what was going on with that, and I think that there's a cool idea within everything, but it just seems to get messy with the connections, and so it was a shame, because it did go downhill probably halfway through the film, and overall I like ended up not really enjoying it in the end. So
it just kind of fell apart, unfortunately. And it was funny with the Lizzie Borden stuff. Kaylee was looking it up while we were watching it, and it was like everything they were saying in the film was just not accurate at all. So I found that to be kind of odd. They were like, oh, you know, she was, you know, found this and that and spent the rest of her days in a mental institution. And Kayla was like, No, it says here she was acquitted and died in her house. And it's
Yeah.
like, what? Like, what? Why are you? What is going on with this film and Lizzie Borden? It just feels like that's a name people know. We don't know how to sell this film any other way because they could have just made it whoever the hell,
Yeah.
right? Any name, just some family lineage thing. And I
Sure.
feel like the Lizzie Borden thing was one of my bigger gripes with like, why are you connecting this with Lizzie Borden outside of we got to sell this on a name people know, but it just didn't matter, right? It wasn't like, oh, this is a really cool
Well,
spin on Lizzie Borden. This felt like one of those. This actually, it's better than those movies, but it actually kind of felt like that guy, that really lame ass guy who makes these super insensitive movies about like the
mm,
haunting of Sharon Tate
yeah.
and the haunting of Nicole Brown Simpson
Well,
and
yeah, because I was gonna say we were talking about this where you were like, is there really like Lizzie Borden like bed and breakfast? Like who'd want to? I would want to stay at Jeffrey Dahmer's like apartment or whatever. And I
yeah,
was like, well, he killed like a ton of people, and but she only killed her mom and dad.
only
And I know that I don't mean to say
no
that
big deal.
dismissively, but like of all the so like to make it all about Lizzie Borden, like I know she's a recognizable name, but she's like, I don't know, is it that like
Big of a name.
yeah. You know
I
what I
mean, they
mean?
make
It's
a
not
lot of
like
stuff on her.
the Amityville house or whatever. Like that I get. And like there's other like serial killers and people who do like kill a lot of people. And I'm not trying to say like just because
I
she
think her
only killed two
name.
people, but it's really weird because it's like yeah, she just killed her mom and dad and then she was acquitted and then just like spent the rest of her days in her house
I mean, as far as
and
I'm
like died in
aware,
her house.
Charles Manson is like, didn't he never kill a single person or like killed his mom when he was a kid or something and like her lover and then like when he got out, like he just made other people do his killings and he's like
Sure.
the
Well,
most famous killer ever.
I guess what I'm getting at with that too though is that like there's like the whole curse thing like there's this like without like I don't want to give spoilers but there's like demonic right like it's Lizzie Borden is like an evil force or whatever and I don't know if that's part of like the myth with her like if that was something that kind of rose up after she did commit the murders and maybe I'm just unfamiliar with her story and like what people thought of her you know
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know, but yeah, even without her name being attached to it, I think that the story is still confusing and needed to be streamlined a little bit more because I think that there was some good stuff in the beginning of this film, and I think that there's talented actors involved with it. So I think it could have been cool, but it just doesn't work for us.
Yeah. There's also this like kind of subplot going on of her best friend being in love with her and I really really like I was feeling that and I think the girl who plays it does it really well, but it ultimately goes literally nowhere.
Yeah,
And there's this like dress theme that's going on, like where everyone in the movie seems to have the same dress or something. Because we were watching, and we were like, wait, I don't understand. Who's this person masturbating next to this dress? Because isn't this the dress that the other girl has? And then we like saw the dress in like multiple different locations, and we are like,
it was either
I don't understand.
the same dress or like very similar dresses.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it was supposed to be like a motif in the film, but I was confused by it. There's also not to just like keep nitpicking, I guess, but there's a few like there's more than a few. There's a lot of these like fake out sequences that I know we both didn't like. And I do think that those sequences actually did add some confusion. And I think that they were meant to add ambiguity and misdirect you. But I don't think that they accomplished that. So,
yeah, I agree. I'm looking up Charles Manson. It seems that from what I can read here, he could seem to get a clear cut answer. But I mean, as far as Manson didn't touch a single person, yeah. So Charles Manson never killed anybody.
sure. But I mean, like, his, you know, he is a cult leader.
Sure.
So
I'm not saying he's not interesting or
no,
anything. I'm just saying I find that to be super interesting that he's always like thought of like would be like serial killers.
like
Charles Manson is #1 name always mentioned, and the dude never killed a single person himself.
I mean, I think anytime people.
But I was told he killed his mom and her lover when he was a kid, and then was put in prison and released later. But it's saying here not. I don't know. Is that like a freaking wives' tale or something? Old wives' tale or something?
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
That's what I mean. Like people make up. There's all kinds of like myths like associated with these people. So that's why with Lizzie Borden there could be stuff that we just don't know about that this film is like referencing. Like maybe if you live in that area, there's like legends or whatever about her. And I mean, I think it's obviously normal for like people like true crime. People get fascinated. The morbid fascination with killers and whatnot. So, but I don't know. This film just didn't work.
Yeah, this film was not.
I'm sorry.
But the friend was more horny. With Dermot.
More horny.
More horny. Dermot Mulroney.
Mulroney.
All right, guys, don't watch it. Bye.
Bye.